What's going on, everyone? Today we're playing a Tengu-Plant format deck, actually, which is my Psychic list. Now, this is an archetype that I really love. These Extreme Victory, like Banished Psychics, or whatever they're called. The Quiet Psychics. I don't know if they have an official name, but um, definitely they're really cool. So, for those of you who don't know, they kind of like gain advantage by banishing and like looping back other psychic monsters. So this guy, he can banish a psychic in your grave when he's summoned, normal summoned, and when he's sent to the grave, you can special it. They don't miss timing except for this one. This one banishes one from deck when it's destroyed and sent to the graveyard. So it's kind of like a card trooper almost, sort of a floater. Except it does indeed miss timing, which kind of sucks, but it's a really good effect because it lets you banish Esper Girl. Esper Girl is super important for just generating free advantage in this deck. When they're removed from play, Esper Girl is special summoned. You can like banish the top card of your deck face down, and then when it goes to grave, you add it to your hand. So it effectively lets you like keep drawing cards, basically. And they all just sort of let you gain advantage by looping like banished psychics. Now, I decided to combine this with the plant engine. A lot of people build like a TG version of this deck. I don't really. Every time I've tried that, it's felt underwhelming. I like the plants a lot better, and then you just sort of treat like wizard and maybe to a lesser extent cleric as though they're like your Tengus. And you sync with them a bunch and get free pluses. Uh, but yeah, I think the plant engine's a lot better. I also like playing card trooper to get psychics in grave. It's like a another starter you can play that doesn't require you to play a giant rat. Obviously, starting with this is insane. You always want to see Witch in opening hand if you can, but Trooper's a nice card, and it trades really well with Thunder King, and it goes well with the Plant Engine. So I really like this version. Spells are pretty self-explanatory. We're not on the Miracle Synchro Fusion in here. I feel like it's kind of underwhelming, honestly, and requires you to play like just worse cards in your extra deck. Like I would much rather just play like generic good synchros and the Naturia package. The Naturia monsters are kind of insane. If you're playing like a synchro combo deck that can summon the Naturias, that's just like really overpowered. The trap line is pretty standard. Call the Haunted is nice because you can chain it, bring back Trooper or Dandelion or Witch, and get positives that way as well. We're on like one creature swap, one econ. I think that ratio is really good for this. Of course, playing a lot of the kind of mandatory stuff that goes along with the plant engine, like the scapegoat, the foolish 1-for-1, and whatnot. And generally, I think this is pretty close to optimal. I haven't like super like done the math and worked it out. I definitely like 3 wizard, and especially in this build, it means you're just never gonna run out of gas. You just could keep drawing more wizards. Plus, wizard is actually just insane. Like the downside to it is that in opening hand it is kind of mid, but it's still like a 1900, and its effect is just so good. I like playing 3. I know some people only play 2. I don't play any Overdrive Teleporter. That card sucks. Loses hard to Valor or Maxi or Warning or just anything. So definitely, I think that card is mid as crap. I like my side deck a lot. It's pretty solid. Extra deck, I kind of already went over it. We're even playing Decisive Armor and Fortress Dragon in here. I really like having the space and not running like all these psychic synchros just so I can like be able to miracle synchro fusion at Ultimate Axon Kicker every now and then. Which Ultimate Axon Kicker is a nice card and all, but like it's not actually that hard to out. And I just feel like the extra deck space it takes up is really not worth the spot for me personally. No exceeds. I would like to play exceeds, but I don't know. It's like you never really want to exceed in this deck. All your guys are floaters. So, like, at best, you're maybe clearing something with mind control or something. That's, like, the only way it could ever come up. But no exceeds in here at the moment. If I were to play one, it'd probably just be, like, one Levier or something like that, maybe. But I'm on the Decisive Armor right now. The reason I'm on this is not even because of agents. It's just because if you, like, mind control level 8, you can go into something. And I feel like that comes up actually pretty often, especially with, like, Creature Swap and Econ. But yeah, that's a quick overview of the deck. Let's get into some matches that I played with it. So first one, I think we were up against some weird, really crazy quick draw type of deck. Let's show both hands here. So it was like a Diva Hero quick draw list. Anyway, we opened 1-for-1 Dandy. I figure chances that the opponent is maining Maxi and Druid and 48 cards is not that high, so I just go for it. Gonna get some draws with my formula. Go for the creature swap. Obviously, drawing Esper Girl kind of sucks, but yeah, you really don't want to draw her. You want to get her out of deck off of Serene Witch as soon as you can. But we do put a Psychic Engrave, which means now if we draw any like Wizard or Cleric off the top, it's live. Opponent goes for tuning. I always wait with my Dust Shoot in this format, especially because there's like multiple MSTs. But after they use tuning, I immediately use it. I see their hand. I feel like Caius is the only even vaguely threatening thing. So I take it. They just summon Quick Draw and beat over my Card Trooper. So I'm just going to go attack over Quick Draw. We're getting really far ahead on card advantage. I just let him hit over this too. I don't even bother using the formula. It's done its job. So here, I decide to commit one of my Reborn's spells. I have Call the Haunted as well. To go for the Cheerio Beast because it stops the Miracle Fusion that'll come down next turn. And here, I almost like fucked up here and Solemn Judgmented the Diva, but there was a bulb and that would have gone really badly. I would have like lost the duel or some shit. I mean, not necessarily, but it would have been very bad. So waiting to Solemn the Stardust because now they're out of non-tuners. Definitely the smart play. So we go Battle Phase, kill both set. We still haven't drawn another good monster. Here we can go for a game with Call the Haunted. They could have maybe made a 5 there and tried to do something. I guess it was an option because they still had the bulb, right? So here we open a crazy hand. Dust Shoot, Solemn, Maxi. Maxi really good against this deck. Not so good here because Quick Draw doesn't start a chain in this format. So you can definitely play around Maxi a lot more than you would otherwise be able to if you were playing with some weird made-up ruling like we do in Edison format. But anyway, Drill Warrior is going to come back. I think I wait. I could have. I probably should have just Standby Phase Max Seed because I got 2 of these things in my hand. Plus, it'll make them think I don't have Max Seed after that. Anyway, here I go for Dust Shoot. Take the Caius again because it's the only vaguely threatening thing. Man, I resolve Dust Shoot a lot. I'm such a sacker. Such a sacker. They hit over Witch, which like feels really good, honestly. So I know about their Judgment. I'm like, he'll probably Judgment this, but then I can just Judgment his Judgment, and we can make a level 8. I go for Scrap Dragon. I should have maybe played around this being like Treacherous or something. I don't know. But I just go for this. They chain it. I think my Trooper should still pop there, right? I'm 99% sure it does. Anyway, they go for Lost Brew Breaker attack. We have the Goats. I feel like I fucked this up. I should have somehow found some way to lethal here, and I just didn't. I don't know. If any of you see the line, I didn't. So I just like went Nat Beast and like let my E-Telly target get removed. So I guess I just shouldn't have used E-Telly here. I got like 2, because this wasn't game. Even if they didn't have Trag, this wasn't game. So we just we max seed on attack deck to get a draw out of the Trag that we knew was coming, and they're just not going to find anything. So we are going to take the 2 out, and as you're going to see in these matches, the Chariot Synchros are just so insane for the deck. Like all of them, including Landois, because the spell count's actually really high in here as well. And turning every spell in your hand into Solemn Strike is not so bad at all. Anyway, next match, I think this one was up against some guy who was playing my other Tengu-Plant deck, or one of my other ones. He was playing the Spacian Chaos list, very strong. So he goes for Grand Ball attack, holds off on Convert Contacting for now. I go for a Trooper. My hand's actually really sick this game. I think I like threw game 1 or something somehow, if I'm remembering this correctly. There's no way he should be losing with his hand even going second. I've got this is so much just loaded with gas here. Anyway, hits over the Trooper. We're going to draw for turn. We go for the 1-for-1 Dandy. There's no Maxi or anything. I think they Torrential right now, which is maybe a little bit early. I don't know. Yeah. Actually, most of the plays I made this turn were pretty fine. Like, E-Telly and Spore here, this was totally fine. I was playing great around the Gores and everything. The Gores does get dropped, but I just go for this. I know they searched Valor, so I can bait it. And then I can Creature Swap and go for Scrap Dragon and pop both. But I make a huge fuck up here when I use my Pot of Avarice, because I thought I had like 6 or more monsters in grave, but I had exact 5, and if Witch isn't in grave and standby, then she's not going to resolve. So I just like go hard and egg here. Plus I draw 2 useless cards. Like, this would have been fine maybe if I had drawn like Interaction or something like that wasn't just 2 more dead normal summons. And like also bricked my or stopped my witch from going off. But I should have just let witch go off 100%. That was just completely stupid. But anyway, they're gonna now pretty much win the game because of that. If I'd had another witch in rotation, I probably could have made a play on my turn again, but I just couldn't. So that was a big screw up on my part doing that. I go Foolish for Denny. They immediately max E, which they probably shouldn't have. I think generally you want to hold max E for something else, because we can just pass here and it's like totally fine. And it just goes 1 for 1. They go for Dolphin, which snipes the Spore out of my hand, but we're totally fine with that because we got a plant in Graveyard. Here, we go for the Storm. I'm trying to like think on what to do this turn. I decided to just go for Trishula with the E-Telly and then summon the Wizard. So Wizard's going to banish the Witch. So now if Wizard goes to grave, the Witch gets summoned. The opponent draws Grammel, bounce back to Trish. We hit. They have to go for Tour Guide here. They're just dead next turn, so they do go for it. They maybe could have gone Leviair or something. Is there anything good to bring back? I don't know. They still wouldn't deal with the Wizard, I guess, but the creature swap play is just going to hit me the threshold for game easily, so all good there. Here, we're going second. Our hand is all right. It's a little bit mid. The opponent dualities into Maxi. Unfortunately for us, they have a Torrential again, and I think I boarded out a lot of my spell trap removal. I sided weird in this match, if I remember. I brought in like Mind Crush, and I don't think I should have. But I managed to get some value, avoid getting dust shooted. It's kind of whatever. Like, our hand kind of sucks, so getting dust shooted wouldn't really matter. This Torrential does matter, so now we're really down on card advantage. We're getting beaten in by these Tour Guides. Fortunately, we're going to be able to hold off. If I had milled a Psychic here, that would have been so good. That would have been so good, but unfortunately not. We do manage to bait the Veiler kind of for free, though, anyway. So maybe it ends up not mattering too much. We use the Avarice. We draw some really nice cards off the Avarice. And the opponents can out my Catastrophe with Book of Moon, which is like whatever. They hit over the Witch, which is definitely nice. We wanted that. Here we go for creature swap, I think. So actually we're in a pretty good spot now. We've pulled it back a lot. Just kind of grinding with our Psychic cards. And add a Wizard as well. Here they should have put the Dragon defense. Getting to crash that Trooper was a little bit nice for me. So here they try to Sork me. I Veiler. Maybe I was just playing too passive at this portion of the game, because I felt like my opponent didn't have much. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like I was a little bit too scared, maybe. So we get Dark Hold, which is whatever. They go for Convert Contact, which is very good for them. They find Thunder King. I just book it. I'm like, shit, I need to draw something that hits over this. Fortunately, draw another Wizard, which the third Wizard really coming in clutch here. We all need to get woke on 3 Wizard. Anyway, go for Nat Beast. I forget. I think I end up making Landoys here. Yeah, I do. Maybe that wasn't the best call. It probably would have been fine, but my opponent like top decks Avarice or something and then just goes off on me. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe just an unfortunate break in this game for me. They draw Dad too, which is just live. So we can Mind Crush the Granmole here. They pop the Landoys. They probably should have just... Was there a way they could go for game here? Yeah, they should have just gone for game here, I think. Oh, no, it did have been a... What was I at? I was at 5k. Yeah, they could have easily gone for game here. I don't see why they didn't go for game, actually. I mean, it didn't matter because I had Gores either way, but... And then here, if they had made Stardust main too, I also have been pretty screwed. So... A little bit of a maybe misstep, but the Gores just ends the game. I should have just set this, maybe. I don't know. It depends on whether I wanted to respect Gores or not. I feel like I'm just waiting to lose either way in this situation. I'm on 200. Maybe I should have just set this. They also had Max C, so if I just played this turn more passive, maybe I wouldn't have immediately lost, but yeah, that's pretty much the end of the game. I can't really go into anything. Even if I do, I'm going to give my opponent a bunch of draws, so I figure I'd just scoop it up there. So maybe I could have played Game 3 a little differently, but I feel like Game 1's the one I actually threw, whereas Game 3 was just hard. That's my analysis on that match. Then we got one more match. I was up against. I think this guy was just playing a plant deck. You run into those pretty often in Tengu format. So on the first set, I used the Dust Shoot. Rough not getting to see their set. Definitely the punish is when they just immediately go main phase and start sitting back row, but very few people actually ever do that, so I feel like it's better to hold it, and especially in this format. I go for both of these just to try and put as much pressure as I can. I still haven't hit a Psychic, have I? Oh, no, okay. I finally did hit a Psychic, so I can summon this Wizard next turn, and it's a big threat. Here, I decided to summon the Wizard. It gets warninged, but I can just set my Goat and my warning, and I'm feeling good. Yeah, I think in the Chaos matchup, I ended up siding out my warnings, and that was probably the wrong play, because warning's a sick card. Here we get Max Seed, but it doesn't matter, because we're just going to go for game anyway. We can just go Scrap Dragon to play around Tragodia. So this plays around everything except Fader specifically. And I figure there's probably not a Fader in that deck, so we're all good. Oh, one thing I found out this game is my opponent was randomly on Giga-Plant. They open a really shit hand going first this game. I guess they could have like used Reborn with Lone Fire to try and do some shenanigans, but I had the Max C, so it was going to be a disaster. They go for the Giga-Plant play. I just drop Max C at this point. They remember that they normal summon to the Giga-Plant, so they can't use the Sangan. Here I take the Giga-Plant and make Landois. Once again, Naturia Synchro's coming in big. We didn't play against any trap matchups either, but Barkion's also crazy. So I Veil with the Tour Guide. They go Reborn for the Giga-Plant. I think I just take this. I decide to call the Haunted back to Landois. I revive the Bulb because I want a creature swap in main too. For some reason, I decided this was the best play. I can normal summon the Giga-Plant again and get back Spore. They try to Trag me, but Landois is very good in this situation where my opponent's on all monsters, so I'm just able to stop everything. I don't think they have a light for BLS either, which is rough. Here, I think about it for a while, and I decided to just go for it, so I tribute some of the Gores, and we hit in for lethal. So that was match number 3. This was the weirdest match out of all of them, honestly. It was just kind of some... I feel like not a lot of psychic stuff happened. It was just I just drew all my plant cards, and it was really short. And it was just like some plant-on-plant nonsense going on. The Giga-Plant getting stolen a bunch of times was really weird too. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this showcase of the Psychic deck. I think the Psychic archetype is super cool. I definitely love playing it in Tengu-Plant. I'm going to keep working on trying to optimize this list and get a version that I like. Anyway, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. Be sure to leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. Click that alert bell, share the video, do all of that stuff. And I'll see you next time. Peace out, YouTube.